Jason Cassidy, everybody. This is my district manager.
Hey guys,
How
thanks
are you?
for having me. Thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, it's an honor, man. I get you over here. We're in Rio Rancho at my office. These got to be like a few inches in front of your face. They're not like, what do you call them? Condenser mics.
How's that?
Just going.
Good? All right, perfect.
They tease me because I always fidget with them. I always move them around. Episode 50. I thought I put a post on Facebook. I was like, I'm coming up to episode 50. Like, can anybody think of a guest that would be an awesome guest of honor? And it blew up. I didn't expect it at all. I'm going to turn my phone off. And I'm booked out until August.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
I was like, who better? I thought of like, who impacted my career more than anybody? I was like, it's got to be you.
Well,
Dude,
I can't thank you enough for having me. I think that's awesome. And it's my honor to be on here. So thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that very much. I'm proud of you, dude. I think you've done a great job with your career, and we're still like at the very beginning. So you're young, you have lots of time to do even more great things with it. It's exciting to see.
It's pretty awesome. It's just incredible. Like I remember when I first met you, one thing I talk about a lot is wanting to work for, not that I work for you necessarily, but work for somebody that you want to emulate. And when I interviewed with Scott. Do you remember Scott?
Scotty, yeah.
Scotty.
He was in my office like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
He comes by
How's
all
he
the
doing?
time. Oh, he's doing great.
Really?
He has visited me every few months since
awesome.
he left. And he left. He was a great guy, an awesome recruiter. We left on good terms. Like, I think it was just time for him to do something different with his life, and he's doing it, but he comes and visits us. We mostly talk football with that guy. We don't really talk recruiting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. He called me when I made a job post. And when I started talking to him, I was like, well, where'd you get your start? Right. And he's like, well, I was door knocking, selling vacuum cleaners. And he didn't it wasn't fancy, shiny, all this stuff. And for some reason, I was just like, this guy knows what he's doing. Like, if he's door knocking, selling vacuum cleaners is like the first thing that comes to your mind, like how you learn to be successful. I was like, I want to talk more to this guy about what's going on. And I came in, and then one of the first things you did was be like, introduce yourself. You came in and, introduce yourself. I was like, oh, this is awesome culture. And your President's Council isn't it top 0.5% or something these days? Top 1%?
We just say top 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's a lot of really good DMs from across the country that make President's Council. Same thing with agents, but they usually just say top 1%.
President's Council, top 1% district manager in New Mexico.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool too, because New Mexico is a low premium state, right? So you're competing with states where they have higher premiums.
Yeah, I think part of it is we're competing with our own goals, and then how we perform versus our own goals, and then they kind of lump us in nationally.
Oh.
And so they set targets for every district, and it's similar with agents, but every year it kind of changes a little bit. I think the thing that I'm most proud of is I have amazing agents, and then B, I have an amazing team. I have a really good staff that they've sort of tenured with me. And so we have several years of experience within my office to be able to help. But this was actually our 6th time making it, and 7 years being eligible.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, thank you.
That's incredible.
And congrats to you. This was Toppers, and this was your 3rd Toppers, right?
3rd time. Yeah, and it was crazy for me this year because I was so disappointed because I thought I missed it. Like, we were tracking on Personal Lines Premium, and then I was tracking on Life. If you listen to that episode I was telling you about with Darren, we filmed it in December. And him and I were both talking about his Blue Vase and talking about toppers and what we needed for both of them and our life requirements. I was like, let's hold each other accountable. Oh, we might need to close this. Whoa, look at this.
What is this?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks,
My birthday
Grace.
was last week. That's crazy. Cool.
Saturday, right? Yeah, I had to do something for you, man. So
Dude, this is awesome. Thank you.
I figured actually the gold one, I figured it'd be cool to open up. So let's get to action.
Sweet.
Because this was one of these things. It was like a pay X amount of dollars and the bag's full of Y amount of dollars worth of stuff, you know?
Okay.
So I actually don't know what's in that bag.
All right. So this is going to be a surprise.
Bust
for
it
both of
open.
us?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see what we
it
got.
is. Oh.
I know what the other one is.
Woo.
All right.
Dude, this is crazy. Uh-oh. We're stuck.
Is there anything else in there?
Dude,
oh, yeah.
this is
hopefully it didn't-
awesome. Man,
That
my
nice
kids are going to
blazer of
love
yours.
this even more than me because I take this stuff home and they immediately
They're like, what?
confiscate it from me. Yeah.
They got to check it out. What do you got?
All
You
right.
got a tumbler,
A tumbler, a bucket.
some footballs.
Oh, cool. A Christmas ornament. And then a lanyard. And then a salt and pepper shaker.
Oh,
Really
was
cool.
that what the footballs are? Salt and pepper shakers?
Yeah, I
They
think.
left the price tag on the bottom. Who does
Don't worry,
that?
I won't look. This is super awesome, man. Thank you.
$150
Very
salt and pepper
thoughtful.
shakers.
Holy cow, man. Oh, they
That's
must be
not it.
vintage.
We're not done yet. Yeah, no, these are cool.
These are awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's see what
this
else.
is really, really cool.
Let's see what else
wasn't
you got.
expecting this at all.
I won't
so,
ask your age
yeah.
because, I don't want to give that away.
I'm older than I should be.
You're young too. You're
I
still at the
feel-
beginning of your career.
I feel less. Oh, yes.
I hope you don't
Dude,
have
now
one
it
of those yet.
matches my farmer's one, my noggin boss. This
Is that
is
what you
really
call it?
cool. Yeah.
It's a giant hat. See, so
So-
some people are watching, some people are listening.
Look
He's
at
got a
that.
Bengals. He's a Bengals fan, so we got him Bengals tumbler bucket. He called it the Noggin Boss.
Noggin Boss. Yeah. That's a company who makes them.
Oh, really?
I actually had I don't know if you remember the gala a couple years ago. I wore it. My
The
farmer's
farmer's one.
So I custom made a farmer's one, and then we wore it for the gala.
That must
for
have been
one.
why I thought it would make it good. Because I looked at it, I was like, that's definitely what I'm
Yeah.
getting him. I was
So,
looking around for stuff. So you
I'm
keep the
thinking
foam
of-
and you can wear it, or you could.
Yeah. I
Use
think
it,
I might
put it
wear
on
it today.
display.
What do you think?
I think you should keep it
Should,
on the whole
should
time.
I rock it for the podcast?
The whole one.
Well, let's do it.
The whole hour.
It
It's
might
like
get a little bit sweaty, but
there was one Joe Rogan where they had masks on. Does this ring a bell? They had like some costume and they started the podcast with the mask and they got like 10 minutes in or something. And they're like, this is hot. This is crazy. I don't know how people do it.
yeah, I feel like my glasses are going to get fogged up a little bit, which is okay. But
There we go.
so I have a small head, dude, so I'm going to have to fill it in just a little because it's going to fall down. But
This is perfect.
yeah, we'll keep this on for the podcast. for
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
saying you talking football with Scotty. Who's his team?
He's a Vikings fan.
Vikings
Yeah,
fan.
he's a
Nice.
Vikings fan. So he's had a rough last season, but they've been
Yeah.
pretty good over the last few years.
Oh
so.
man, I was telling Darren in December. I was like, I guarantee the Broncos are going to win. And then Bo Nix broke his ankle. Right? He was like,
Yeah.
have
And
those-
we don't even know how he really did it. It was kind of a mystery that popped up like at the very end of the game. Like,
Yeah.
some people said he was celebrating, and then other people said it was one of the last plays.
one of the plays.
So
Still
that
a
kind of
mystery?
sucks. So,
He doesn't. I bet he remembers.
well, I'm sure
We're
he
like,
knows.
ouch.
But
Yeah, that game, I had a family dinner. We were doing fondue, and my mom loves fondue because she spent some time in Geneva, Switzerland. She went to school there when she was a kid. My grandparents used to live in Switzerland for a little while, and my mom's sister lives in Switzerland. My aunt Wendy, and some of the Swiss cultures kind of seeped into the tradition. But you melt the cheese, you put Kirschwasser, which is one of the things. It's like a Swiss liqueur, and depending on how much you want to party, you put a little more Kirschwasser. But we were doing the fondue party, and I have those Ray-Ban glasses, and so I had my glasses on, and I was like, shoot, because the game was like in the last 8 minutes, right when dinner was starting. And so I like showed up at my mom's house, and she'd invited her friends and her roommate and my wife, and I like had my glasses on and my like can't like with the video on, like watching the Broncos game, and they couldn't tell at first, and then it was obvious, and I was like, no, hold on, I got to finish this game, and then it went into overtime. Remember, because it was like I was like, oh man, we're gonna win it, and then it went into overtime, and then when it went into overtime, I put it in my pocket, and then like all I did was open it up. I saw we won. I celebrated, and we put in the second string quarterback. Lost the next game.
Yeah.
Seahawks win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that one's rough. That was rough. I think expectations for the Broncos are high. So you can probably be excited about that.
You're right. It was a big improvement. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I was like, hey, if I finish these classes, I hit toppers, we buy a house, whatever. I had like 5 things. I was like, and Broncos was one I always forget. And if the Broncos win, we did pretty good this.
Would you have taken my advice? Would you have called me and said, hey, what do I do if the Broncos go to the Super Bowl? You know what I would have told you, right?
Wait, so I would have called. Okay, I would have called you and said, what do I do if they go to the Super Bowl? It would have been them against the Seahawks.
And then what do you think I would have advised you to do?
I don't know. I have no idea. To go to the Super Bowl?
So when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, something like that. When the Bengals went to the Super Bowl in 2022, I think it was, I went. But that was like the greatest year of me being a fan ever was that year. We got to go to a game. I dragged my wife to all this. She literally says yes to everything. And I feel like normally she wouldn't do any of this stuff. And she'll tell me, she'll be like, you drag me to so much stuff that I would never do. So we went to a football game in Cincinnati in the middle of the winter. It was like January. And it was the first Bengals playoff win in 30 years. So we got to experience like tailgating and the game and the win. It was like the most exciting thing. Was that against the Chiefs? It was against the Raiders.
The Raiders was a playoffs game.
It was the game before the Chiefs. No, it was the Raiders, then the Titans, and then the Chiefs. And then they lost in the Super Bowl to the Rams. And we went to the Super Bowl too. LA. I drug her to that one too.
Was it in LA?
It was in LA.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was at the Rams Stadium.
Was it just you guys?
It was just
at the new Rams Stadium too, right?
At the new Rams at SoFi. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
But I totally would have said go to the Super Bowl. Like, so I'm a Bengals fan my whole life. They've never been good. And then, you get this little window where they go to the Super Bowl. When am I going to ever see that again? So
pretty exciting.
You never know. What if they would have won?
They won that playoff game that you went to, right?
Yeah.
And then they went to the Super Bowl, but they've never won. They have no Super Bowl wins, right?
No, they've been to the Super Bowl 3 times and they've lost all 3.
You just got to wear the hat
the whole season. It was a heartbreaker too. Yeah, they I'm gonna wear it. I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah, that was a heartbreaker for me last season. The stadium, SoFi Stadium, is cool though because it's brand new. It was like 2019 they finished it. We used to work there a lot because I used to live in Hollywood, and that when they were building it, and so we would work at the old one at the Coliseum. They would throw parties like FYF, different music festivals in the parking lot of the Coliseum, and then it started bleeding into the other stadium, and then they started opening up the new stadium. Rolling Loud was one. I did that several years in a row.
Super cool.
It got kind of crazy. Rolling Loud was like, it's like this hip hop crowd, like rap music. Remember Astro World?
Yeah.
With Travis Scott and all those people got compressed and trampled. And I had friends that were out there in the parking lot. Like, when you go into a music festival and the signs that have the prohibited items and like leave the stuff at the door at the securities. Mm-hmm. And they were out there in the golf cart because he's like 4-wheelers to get around, golf carts to get around the site. And they had it parked. They're putting up the signs, and the front entrance got rushed at Astro World. They said it was crazy. They climbed up onto the top of the cart because there was so many people getting compressed at the front entrance. But that vibe persisted at Rolling Loud a little bit. Like people would be rolling around the outside, like in the production area around the outside of the festival, like in Suburbans, hanging out of the car window and like starting fights with like rival hip hop crews, like rap crews would get in fights. And they rushed one year, I think this was 2019, they rushed the VIP area and they like hurt some of the security guards and broke down like the security gates and stuff. And eventually I was like,
That's insane.
Yeah. I was like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like my staff's stuff was getting stolen and like.
Jeez. So how long was the festival? Was it multiple days or was it just like one big, long 24-hour type thing?
That's a really good question. I almost forget. I think it's a weekend. I think it was two days usually. And it traveled around. Like they did it in different cities. But yeah, that was one where I was just like, I don't know. I knew I was at the end of wanting to do that gig at least. You know, it's hard because sometimes you can pick and choose. Luckily, the crew we worked for wasn't out at that Route 91. Remember that when the guy shot from the Mandalay Bay and he shot into an open crowd of
Vegas,
people?
that was insane too.
That was really tragic because the promoter, Live Nation and Country Nation. So Country Nation is like the country
version of Live Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did a festival, Tortuga. I think they also do that one. And we were at that one on the beach that was right after. So it was like I knew some of the people that had been there and they just like it actually opened, and 3 weeks later there was another one in Florida, you know, and they keep doing festivals. But our job changed a lot because we were in charge of the emergency exit signs. So it went from being like 2-person, like 1 day long project to like a 5 or 6 several day, because they had more requirements. Like it used to be you could just clearly mark them, and then now they all had to be like 10 feet wide and in the air and lit, and like they made the because just for egress in an emergency situation, they had more requirements. So it was just a weird time. But
is that one of the last festivals you worked?
What was the last one I worked? It's hard to think because it would have been 2019. Yeah, like Rolling Loud maybe. Not Tortuga because that was prior years even. I forget when Route 91 was. But yeah, in 2019, working at the LA stadiums, those were some of the last ones that I did. Because 2020, my dad was getting pretty sick, and that's when we moved back to New Mexico together to hang out with my pops. And so 2020, I was like, I want to work in the office now, basically. I decided I wanted to work in the office and stop doing field work, took a pay cut to stop traveling. Christine and I were getting married. We weren't married yet. We were just engaged. All right. And then the pandemic hit and every single music festival completely stopped. You know what I mean?
So it was like easy to make a decision to change direction at that time.
Oh, 100%. And it was necessary. We were joking because earlier we're like, what were we talking about? Getting prepared for stuff. And we're like, we got to prep. And I was like, yeah, I'm a prepper now. I don't know if you knew that about me because I had a whole internal shift, like really what I was focused on. And, you know, it was hard because it was like, how am I going to pay rent? Like we literally had a list every time we paid rent during the pandemic. We would like clap and we would cheer and celebrate, and it's like it's just incredible what, you know, this industry has done for that peace of mind and security. Like there's no guarantees, but insurance is pretty close to a guarantee, right? Like
yeah, I mean, and that's the scary part is that there are no guarantees. I think a lot of the future for insurance is changing.
Yeah.
And so I think like when we talk about AI and stuff like that, and the rapid pace with technology, that everything's changing, right? Just how we communicate with our customers. A lot of it is over the phone now, and a lot of it can just be through our phones, period, without even talking to each other. So texting and instant messaging and those kinds of things. And then AI is taking over a lot. And so you look at what could be guaranteed, and really the only guarantee out there is that um, if you're utilizing AI and if you continue to evolve and adapt to everything that's changing,
Yeah.
you'll continue to be around. But when you stop doing that, that's when you're probably going to have to worry a little bit about the future. And it's the same thing for me. You know, I worry about all that stuff. So I love using AI. I use it every day of my life, both in my business and on the personal side. But if you stop, you know, adapting and utilizing that technology, what happens is you eventually get left behind because there's a ton of people moving in that direction and they're utilizing it. Those are the ones that are going to continue to stay ahead. And yeah, I mean, it's just change at a rapid pace, probably more rapid. I don't know, you know, I'm not going to say anything crazy, but it could be we're changing at the most rapid pace we've ever changed as humans, and we're evolving even faster through technology. But a lot of people are going to get left behind because of that too.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, people are afraid of change. They don't want to change, so they get stuck and they get left behind is ultimately what's happening.
Yeah.
You see it in everything in the financial markets and the economy and people's attitudes and their ability to bounce back, their flexibility. The thing I mean when I see guarantees is like you have a promise to pay when you take on the risk, the carrier at least. And when people were passing away in the pandemic, life insurance continued to pay. I think even you and I talked about it. It's like people don't cancel. They didn't cancel their car insurance. They didn't cancel their life insurance. Meanwhile, we were furloughed, you know, until Intel required certain things from the business. We got to go back to work. I went back to work like a month later, but even that process is adapting. And I think I've been lucky to see like whole industries collapse and had to literally reinvent myself to bounce back into it. And for me personally, that's what I see as it. But if you're not on board with what's coming with AI, you will get left behind. I just got this book. Friend of mine, Connor Haynes, he's a land dealer with Falcon Land, and him and I are kind of partners and buddies, and he recommended it. It's called How to Disappear Completely. And it's this guy, I haven't started reading it, but it just comes to mind because the guy's talking about how to completely erase your digital footprint. And it's like exactly opposite of what we're talking about. I think you're going to see two things. I think you're going to see the people that are totally resistant of it and they're going to isolate almost. But it's just like anything else, your ability to connect, if that's your vision, is to connect and to make an impact, then you're going to have to utilize the technology, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm going to be talking about on the 18th, mainly is how to, it's the title of my sales summit. It's the first one. And the vision is to have these recurring summits and just grow it slowly. I'm going to start really small. My expectations are just have a few people that we're all working on our skills, but how to contact like it's the past and close like it's the future.
What does that mean though to you? How to contact like it's the past?
For people to know me and trust me and like me and have access to me. And instead of just my brand or my product, right? I like you're talking about ways that we can communicate with the client. I think of something as like an omni-channel experience where it's like, yeah, we're lucky because you can DM, text, call, email, walk in, right? These should all be ways that we should be allowed to do business. I think we're lucky too, because when you think about insurance, a lot of times you might think like, well, you can't actually text somebody and do your insurance business in a text message. But there's no rules that say You can't text somebody and talk about your insurance in a text message.
Right.
Most people, especially younger people,
They prefer it.
doing that
Absolutely.
more, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those things like we've learned over time. And now it's like probably just as common as speaking to someone on the phone. But it's like one of those things that's going to continue to evolve as well. And you have people that, like you said, they resist that kind of change and they kind of get left behind because of it. And it's just how do we look towards the future and try to adapt and adjust to all that? And it's
Yeah.
part of it is seeing it coming, or knowing that it's here and then trying to embrace it. And like for me, I think with AI, I was a little choppy at first, like trying to get into it, but now it's a lot smoother the way I use it on an everyday basis. But I mean, there's like that you get growing pains with everything that you're trying to learn and implement in your life. And it's one of those things where you just got to go for it and jump into it and see where it takes you. Like I think I use ChatGPT. I have the paid version of it, but it
Me too.
tells it responds to me like this is the way you like it because you're direct and you want results in this kind of thing.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's the way I want my AI to answer me on my questions, you know?
Yeah, you can give it a master prompt and say every time treat everything kind of like this. You can also have projects. I told mine one night that I was a secret agent and I forgot. And then one day it was all, since you're a secret agent, blah, 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 it was all, oh, I forgot I did that. How many insurance agents do you think you've helped in your career? Ballpark.
I mean, it's probably because I've been doing it now for 14 years. I think I'm at the, my district now is 46, but you have some that come on and
Currently.
then they leave 46.
Yeah.
And then I came from a really big district in Colorado where at one point we had over 100. So I would say it's probably in the over 100. And I
Yeah.
still have relationships with a lot of my old agents in Colorado. I talk to a lot of them. Some of them I talk to almost every day. And then obviously we have lots of agents in our district that we talk to now. And I'm constantly communicating with them. But if I were to put a number on it, I'd say it's over 100.
I think that I've had an interesting experience with understanding firsthand how different people are. The more and more I help people, the more and more I talk to people, the more and more I put myself out there and really try to go deeper with clients and staff and partners. And the more I do that, the more I realize how unique and individual people are. Do you have that same experience?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
You're so good at seeing what's bringing the best out of people. It's one thing, a skill you really have.
But I think it's hard too because you have people like on the other side, you have people that want the help, and then you have people that take the help and then they implement, and that's really where their lives change. Is where like I was willing to take direction from my mentor, and on top of the direction, I went and had to execute. And a lot of people like yourself, you take the direction and then you execute and you're really building something special for yourself. And the ability to change your life is tied to that. And then you have a lot of people that want to take the help, but they're not necessarily willing to do the execution part. And so you do see a lot of everything from all angles. You see people who want to execute but don't want the guidance or direction, and sometimes that's frustrating because you're looking at some guy just walk into the wall and bang his head and just walk right back into the wall and bang his head again, and you're like, hey dude, I can help. And you see a lot of different types of people, and I've worked with lots of different people, and I think like the credit there isn't that I've helped that many people, because not all of them have succeeded at this, and that's the hard part. I think I take that type of failure seriously, but there's also my team who consults and works with a lot of these agents on a daily basis, and so I'm able to work with my team and really develop their skills, and I'm able to work through more people at one time because I have 6 or 7 people that I'm doing it through instead of trying to work with 50 individuals at one time. And so, yes, I work with my agents, but I also work through my team. And I think like the ability to delegate has really helped my business grow. But I also feel like I'm at a very important stage in my career right now where I've been a DM now for 9 years. Um, I feel like we're doing really well and we're killing it. To be honest with you, I'm so happy with where we are. And then I go into my meetings and I'm like, but we're not moving fast enough. Like I want to be here and we're here and we're doing great here. I just don't ever feel like we can be too comfortable with everything around us changing so
Mm,
much. And I tell my team that. I'm like, look, it's good to be good, but there's always room for improvement. So a lot of what I'll preface my meetings with is like, just because I say we can be better doesn't mean we're doing a bad job. It just means like there is room for all of us, me included, to improve myself and to get better. And if we're not willing to do that, that's where we stop growing. And so a lot of like my push is I feel like not necessarily like I'm never happy because I'm super content. I love my life and the balance between my personal situation with my wife and kids, and also my business is thriving. But where can I be better? And there's lots of different areas that I can point to like move the needle and just get a little bit better. But
mm.
I think where the crossroads is like there's something out there bigger for my team and myself. And what that is, I don't know, but we're working towards getting there and we're grinding every single day. And I think it's a me thing too. Where am I leading us? And the cool part about it is you're part of that agency force where once we start to really figure it out and put our finger on it, you guys are the first ones that we're gonna tell because we want all of you guys going in that same
Yeah, I
direction.
mean, I'm grateful for that. You're great at that, just keeping us posted of what's coming up. And I like getting out to those events where you see what's coming down, what the plan and what the future is. You're awesome at disseminating that. The speed, I think, is something that's really cool that you're focused on is being fast. I always thought like if you could do seven things in the same time that your competition does one, that's great. That's part of being on track with the technology and adapting. I think there's one other category of the type of people in terms of coachability and willing to execute and implement is the people that they don't want to be coached and they're not willing to implement or execute, right? So
Yeah.
what about the people that don't want to change? What do you think it is that's holding those people back? It seemed like as simple as just not wanting to do text messaging or whatever it is to you that you're seeing out there. What are the main things that you think are those people hitting their head on the wall that you could switch? And why do you think it is that they are resistant?
That's harder to answer, but I'll try to do, my best and analyze the question. Like every situation for every single person is different. So we don't necessarily know what's happening on the personal side with them, which could have a major impact. And that can be all of us, right? Like we all have bad days. Some people just don't have the best life outside of work, and this is maybe where they just come to like escape that. And so, adjusting the AI and doing those things aren't the most important thing to them at that moment. But then you also have people who the they live with the past and the present in mind because of a fear of the future, and that causes a little bit of paralysis. Like the future is scary, I think, for all of us. And the reason it's scary, and this is me included, because it's uncertain. We don't know what we're going to get into, and we don't know how the choices we make today and the things we do today are going to have an impact on the future. But we can try our best to maybe uh, I don't know, help determine the outcome or push in a certain direction. We just don't know. Nothing's guaranteed in the future. I think a lot of people worry about that kind of thing. And then
Mm,
you have the people that are absolutely tied to the past where this is the way we've done it always and this is the way we're going to continue to do it, even if that doesn't jive with the way that things are moving. And so like at that point when they say that, they're kind of keeping themselves stuck. And so the consulting part of the job is helping people in some cases move out of their own way or clear the way for themselves once again. Um, some people don't realize it, and you kind of have to make sure that you're having those consultations or talks with them to where you're uncovering those needs and trying to figure out where they really are with everything. And at that point, they're still not going to change. The only thing that my team and I can do is really, we'll help you when you need it, because we have a ton of other agents that are calling us every single day and asking for help. And hey, what are you guys doing here? What's everyone else doing? How come we're seeing these people produce at this level and we're still stuck here? And it's like I sent a huge email, probably what I would consider one of my more important emails to my agents last week, but I like had been thinking about it for days. Like,
I read
hey,
it.
that's all on my mind. And then you go in and you put all these notes, because what I exercise in the morning, so I walk, ride bike, but I'm taking notes all the time on all the things that are in my head and all these interactions, and I'm trying to process them. And then you start to compile all this like data about what you think is going on and the direction things are going. And, I hear it from farmers, I hear it from our agents. And so I'm the middle guy. I'm trying to connect everyone and keep everyone moving in the right direction. And you start to see like there's a lot coming, and farmers is this huge company, and they have to keep this company moving with all that fast change. It's just a lot slower moving ship. But what we can do is we can create change on an agency level at a much faster pace for ourselves. So my job is to try to communicate. And the way I was looking at it is like, hey, this is coming whether we like it or not. And some of us disagree with the way things are going, but that doesn't change the way things are going. It's like you can't fight it, right? And so instead of fighting it, let's talk about solutions. And here are the solutions that I think we need to move towards. And then there's certain companies that we've been using that have been game changers for us. Like over the last year and a half, we've taken steps to move in a direction we didn't think we would be moving, or me. I didn't think that the district would be moving in this direction a year and a half ago. It's a completely different way than I wanted to build it. But I wasn't able to control that, because the way things are going and the way things are moving, I had to adjust. And if I didn't, we'd all be left behind.
It's
And
like a
that's my
train.
biggest worry. And that's the email is like, hey, here's what I worry about. And here are the things that I am seeing working right now. Those things could be way different again a year from now. But right now, I know that these things are working, and they're working really well. And the way I know it is because we're plugging them into certain agencies and we're seeing immediate change and lots of results. And that's the way it's got to be. And some people are going to read that email and say, oh, this is BS. And that's okay. That's, it's their business. But the people who are really willing to embrace the change, those are the ones who are going to see the most positive impact on their business. But it also goes into like, hey, don't just embrace the change, you got to execute on it as well. And so then we deploy the troops, the ABCs and my team, to go and work within the agencies and work with their people and just get the plan going from there.
Yeah, I think of it as a train. Like you get on it, it's already going, right? You're not going to push the train back, but if you can show people how to get on and get off. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I read that email. I thought it was great. And I celebrated a little bit, because I was like, you had a lot of bullet points, and I was like, I've done a lot of these things. And there was only 2 or 3. There's 2 at the bottom, or 3 where I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like the SoFi and another vendor. Where I'm like, but almost literally everything else, I was like, okay, I'm on board with that. And I think that like your answer to the question of why people are hesitant and resistant is robust. It's powerful. It's like, I think of it as if people are spending too much time at home, there's a problem at work. People spending too much time at work, there's a problem at home. And you do a really good job of that balance that you talked about that I think is critical. Like you're saying, your exercise in the morning, and it's like, even now it's like the hat, but the straight spitting hot fire, you know what I mean? At the same time, you just like, you have that balance where you don't sugarcoat it and you bring that out of people, and you're not dragging people through it. You're open, like, okay, well, when you're ready, like, here's what I think it is. And when you're ready, it's
Yeah.
coming along. There's this Japanese concept. I finished the book called Ikigai. Highly recommend it. It's got 3 different concepts in it. The main one, Ikigai, is just about finding your passion and your pursuit. And Kaizen is one of the concepts. And the Kaizen is the concept of just like relentless improvement, like a commitment to always doing something so that you're improving. There's this 6 Sigma stuff that always stuck with me, which is like, it's control, define, analyze, measure, improve, like having ways where you're constantly doing that over and over. And that takes a real self-reflection, like a real hard look at what's actually going on. But I think you're fantastic at those things. And like, I just think that you do a great job of blending what is serious and what's non-serious. I don't know. That's one of the things I love about you. I remember like we were at the gala one time. You didn't sugarcoat it with the hard market, for example. Like, it's an exciting position I feel like we're in, because it feels like, to me, from when I deal with on a day-to-day basis, that we're outside of the hard market, and I almost like cut my teeth in the hard market in a way. So
that makes you good in a market like this, and everything is moving in the right direction for farmers. So it's exciting times. Like when I'm saying we're not moving fast enough, it's because I know you got to take advantage of a window like this. This is like a growth window, right? And if you're not doing all those things, if you are doing them, that's why you're a toppers agent, by the way, because you are doing most of those things. But there's always that little window for like, okay, well, we're doing this, we're doing good, but where can we be better? I'm introspective. I think I'm less of an extrovert than most people think I am. I'm just willing to say things that most people aren't willing to say. I think, like, for me, introspection comes from like my own self-analyzation. Like, I'll analyze my own weaknesses because I want to know where I can be better. So like Kaizen, that sounds super interesting to me because it's the relentless pursuit of always being better. That's something that I feel like I do anyway. Do I have lots of areas where I can improve and be better? Absolutely. And that's as a DM, as a friend, as a family member, as a husband, as a father. There's lots of different areas I can be better, but it's like, well, let's focus on 1 or 2 things at a time.
Yeah.
And I think like my balance comes from understanding too, because I spent those first couple years, I was pouring myself into the business a lot. And my wife is amazing because she allowed me to do that while she was at home with the kids. And now it's kind of her time. Like she just got her real estate license. She's going to kill it. Yes. Congrats, Audrey. Good job.
Audrey.
I can't wait to see like all the great things that she's going to do now. But we also have like, we're juggling kids and practices. Right now is a really interesting time. 2 football practices a day with each of the boys, and then baseball practices and games every day almost. And then the girl hasn't gone into basketball, but she's about to. And so we have a ton of stuff every single day going on. It's just being able to like balance it. And I think the best approach, my parents were like, how are you guys going to do this? And I was like, one day at a time. So literally in the morning, what I'm asking Audrey, what am I doing today?
Bite-sized chunks.
I just need bite-sized chunks. Like I just need to know what I need to do today. Because if I'm worried about today and tomorrow and Saturday, then it's not going to work out because I'm going to overwhelm myself. So
Yeah.
it's just a little bit at a time, I think.
That book, they talk a lot about resetting by spending time in nature too. It's like a Japanese concept, after the war and the bomb, everybody in Japan had rebuilding, and there's this concept of the phoenix, which is kind of like an ongoing theme in the podcast. Episode 50, I'm so thrilled, man. It's like, I think about that. I've been writing a lot about it. Just the ability to come back from that. That's what designed their method. And it's kind of like an Americanized, watered down version of their culture, explaining it so that I could digest it. But that time in nature is like it's a reset for them to stay productive on that. And it's like, it's pretty cool. The time that I was talking about, we were at the gala and we were talking about underwriting restrictions or some claim it was kind of some heavy conversation. And then in the same stride, it was like, we started talking about Mexico and you're talking about the kids seeing a puffer fish. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's just like your ability is like, I think that's so crucial. You know, I have a couple of moments that stand out where like we do the town halls and you don't sugarcoat things. You tell us what's going on in the market. I appreciate that, you know, but it's also like you also have that ability. So you're gonna be fine with all that stuff going on. I can kind of relate. We just bought the house, and my big thing is we just bought some trees. So the house was like good to go. Like new roof, new appliances. The guy did a really good job on the interior, but the backyard was like a blank canvas. Xeriscaped, gravel, river rock, sand. Big part of it sand. Decent sized backyard, but there was nothing. Just sand and flagstone. You know.
Yeah, blank slate.
Blank slate. So Christine and I have been working on that. We planted a maple tree. So I never planted a tree before. I was like,
is it an already mature maple tree or is it still?
not really. It's, I don't know if you call it a sapling or whatever, but it's, you know, as big as you can fit in the Jeep. Like we
Okay.
fit all the trees in the Jeep. We bought 4, they're called the skyrocket junipers. Have you seen those ones that
Yeah,
are like straight
go
and they go like 20 feet high?
Uh-huh.
I have always loved those trees. We had one at our old house, and it's like when you're driving on the block, you're like, that's
Yes.
where our house is at.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I know the ones.
We're putting 4 of them up against the wall. And we're like walking distance to the river.
Nice.
Um,
I miss that because we lived on the west side when we moved back here,
Oh.
and we would walk the bosque, and a lot of the walks to the bosque were with the kids because it was COVID. So you spending so much time inside the house. We would get them out and we'd go like a mile each way just down, but it's so nice to be right there. Now
Yeah.
that we live on the east side, we're kind of closer to the mountain, but
got the foothills.
yeah, it's not the same because the bosque was nice and shaded. And so you can go in the middle of the summer. It's hot during the day, but at least you're walking through the shade. And the kids loved it. And go throw rocks in the river and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we miss that.
We have the Rio Grande open space, which is nice. We took my mom and Christine's parents came down to visit a few weeks ago from Toronto. And it's nice because you can drive up to it. From our house, you can walk to the river, but you have to go down a little hill. You can drive up to it, walk, and, you know, my mom has trouble walking and Christine's mom a little bit too. And they're both able to get all the way down to the river and back from there. There's also fishing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I called Rick Torres because he had his birthday the other day. And he's like, I used to have a buddy up there just go walk and go fishing at the river right there. I'm like, yeah, you can do it from the house.
Yeah.
It's pretty badass, man.
We've done the canoes from like the little entry point in the river.
Yeah.
We did that too.
Like
But
the
yeah.
Alameda, because you can do a couple. You can Siphon Beach is usually where we drop in, which is like in Corrales. And then we go to Alameda. It takes about 4 or 5 hours or something.
Yeah.
We both have paddle boards. That's one thing I'm obsessed with. I can't wait for the paddleboard weather because I'm out there as much as possible.
Is paddleboarding the one where you're standing on top of it? Dude, I couldn't
you
even
can
get up. Well, we tried it this summer. We went to Costa Rica. Maybe it's different in the
Were you in
ocean.
the ocean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there good
Yeah.
tidal waves? Oh, it's a lot different.
I'm like, I couldn't even
Yeah,
get
you
up
want
on that thing.
you want glass.
Okay.
Like if you go to a lake, you want a nice quiet day. It's tough when
When there's
but
some
you can
wake.
also just get on your knees, right? You can even sit and you put your legs on the side of it.
Okay.
So a lot of times we're doing that. Like we've done it with the dogs. It's kind of tough because Harley, we have the big golden. Harley doesn't like it when we split off. So like he wants us to be like floating, but there's parts in the river where you have to steer around obstacles and get clear of the river bend. And as soon as we split up, he'll jump from one, swim to the other, try to jump up and knock you off. And we've done it a few times with
Yeah.
both the dogs. And we do it in the lake. They have like these floaty vests and stuff. But yeah, the river float is pretty nice on paddle boards. They're inflatable too, so like you can pack them in a bag and you can walk, and then you can either pump it up, or we have the thing you can plug it in the car too. So you can
Yeah.
pack them down into a bag, hang them in the garage,
Nice.
and pack them into the cars and stuff like that.
That's cool. We need some water in the river
We need more
for
water.
that to happen.
Last season was rough. Well, it's actually decent right now. Yeah, if you get too late in the season, then the water level gets too low. You'll have to hike more because you'll bottom out.
Yeah.
Right now, it's pretty decent. You got to keep an eye on it too. It's also Texas. Like you go up to Albuquerque and Heron, and then they're diverting water to Texas because Texas has a lot of the water rights.
Yeah.
We also owe Mexico water, so it comes off the Rockies. It has to go through New Mexico, Texas, and get to Mexico. So a lot of times when it's low, it's because they're not letting us hit the reserves. That's what happened last season.
Yeah.
We couldn't bleed enough off. And I was telling someone at the bar the other day, I ran into this guy, interesting dude, had a good handle on New Mexico. And I was like complaining. I was saying like, it's crazy. We need more water. Like, why is it, Texas is blah, 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 blah. Whoops. And we owe Mexico water. And then he pulled up his phone and he made a really good point. He's like, look at how much of the river goes through Texas. This whole time I'm thinking like, I don't know why, but in my brain, like the Rio Grande went from New Mexico to Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it goes and
All
it
the
winds
way-
all
doesn't
the
it
way
go to the
through
Gulf?
Texas
Doesn't it flow into
to the Gulf of
Mexico?
America.
But whatever the Gulf
The
is, we'll
Gulf
just
of
call it the
whatever.
Gulf.
Yeah.
So we don't offend anybody.
I don't have a thing. I'd have to pull it up.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just think that's
I
a
thought
funny
that's
one
what it
because it's
did.
like so sneaky. Like straight, but from Texas, right?
Because
Yeah.
it's the entire border between Texas and Mexico, right?
Yeah.
I can't pretend to know this.
It goes, I think you're right. And we're not looking at a map. This isn't science class. It's just, it's going through Texas, and a giant percentage of it is in Texas though. So if we don't keep enough in it to go through Texas, or we don't give Texas enough of it, like it just would dry up in Texas and not get to Mexico because Mexico needs the water too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
What else? I wanted to talk to you a little bit about like the transition. I told you a little bit about how I got an insurance and what motivated me, but it's 14 years. That's going back quite a bit.
14, yeah.
Was it 9 years as a DM? Were you an agent in Colorado before?
I was like, we called the position was RFM or RDM, Reserve Field Manager, Reserve District Manager.
Oh.
So I was a general manager in a hotel in Colorado Springs when I started. My whole career to that point was hotels. I have a degree in hotel management. So I grew up in northern New
Did
Mexico.
you go to Anderson School of Management?
No, I went to NMSU.
Oh, okay.
So I graduated from New Mexico State in 2003 and then moved kind of around Texas. I went to Dallas for a while. I worked at a Four Seasons there. Came back to New Mexico, spent some time in Colorado. I was in Colorado for a total of like 10 years. And I used to just drive home some days and I would be like, there's no way for the next 30 or 40 years that I am going to have this drive or think about these same things every day. I just kind of felt like there was something else out there for me. And so I just used to think a lot. And like I said, I'm pretty introspective. So I don't mind a quiet car ride because I have so much going on in my brain at all times that it's just like all my thoughts start coming out and I get some time to spend with my thoughts. But I used to be like, man, there's no way this is it for me. And so I was a general manager, had a really good relationship with the owner of the hotels. And I told him that I had come back to Colorado for, interim. I'd train a new general manager, but that wasn't what I wanted to keep doing. And so I was kind of exploring other opportunities. Got an email about farmers, told them I would interview, and I wasn't even going to show up to the interview, to be honest with you. Like I was like, this is sales, this is insurance. I have no interest in either one. I have no sales background. But something pulled me into that interview. Um, I talked to the guy and he kind of explained to me what the role was and what the world of insurance was like. And I had just no idea. My mind was completely blown. And he just, you know, 14 years ago when I'm interviewing, money is a really important thing. And so I'm like, how much? And so he kind of explained that to me. And I said, sign me up. And I kind of became obsessed with it year one. Um, that guy was, you know, he lasted a year and I was lucky enough to have a couple of people in my corner with farmers at the time where I was kind of looking at going back to hotels, and they stuck me with a guy named Kevin Shriver, who he's my mentor DM and one of the most amazing people. This dude's like a big brother to me. But he kind of started me back at the bottom and showed me the ropes for, I think I worked for him for about 4.5, 5 years. And so I kind of had to grind my way up. I was sold policies for new agents. I helped them sell personal lines in life, and we had a rule called 40 and 4. So in order for someone to sign a full-time contract back then, there was only one entry point, and it was called the traditional program. It was a subsidized program where they would get X amount of dollars per month based on their sales. But in order to get there, they had to sell 40 PNC and 4 life in 3 months. So I was the guy that kind of helped them get
3
to
months.
those numbers in 3 months. Can you imagine?
He's busy.
Could you imagine?
Oh,
That's
it's just
a month
like all
now.
these emails where they're like, here's what's going to go on with VRC if you only
Yeah.
sell 2K a month. You're like, who's worried about that?
There are
Come
people
on,
who,
man.
and I think we're lucky because in our district we really don't have that.
Yeah.
But there are people that are in that situation.
Sure. I mean, it's a skill. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well,
for
so
sure.
you said a couple of things. One, what do you think it was that drew you to the interview? Because one thing I've learned to do, love it or hate it, I pull a piece of paper out and I say, hey, look, these are all the things that are going to make you fail. I don't think you're going to fail. I think people don't fail. They just don't do what they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
And it's like limiting beliefs, your own fear of failure, your personal life coming in, having unexpected emergencies. People don't plan on that, just like anything else. Like, in other words, like I did the same thing. 2014, I was like, life insurance sounds cool. And then I went to this presentation and it's like, well, you need to bring this amount of money and here's how it works. And then I was, well, this sounds like it's made up and I'm going to get screwed over. Right.
I
So when you
kind of
first
thought,
start looking
I
into
thought
it.
the same thing. And so I think what drew me in was, you're driving and the interview was on the way from my hotel to my house. So it was like the halfway point. And I'm driving. I'm like, dude, I can just go home. I can cut out early. And then I'm like, well, how are you going to really change your life? Like you're complaining to yourself about not wanting to be in the same position, and yet you're not willing to do anything uncomfortable to change it. So I showed up to the interview and he told me how much money some agents make. And I said, sign me up. But
Yeah.
I did ask him to show me. He showed me on a little TV, and I was all in at that point.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with you. I was like, this is how much you want to make per year. You're like, I got guys making that per month. I was like,
Yeah.
sign me up.
That's
Let's
and
go.
and honestly, dude, that's those numbers now. I see them and I thought they were so much, and it's like, holy cow. And not to make it about money, because this career has changed my life in so many other ways, right? Like I have great balance. It's allowed me to have a family, and I own my schedule completely. I love to travel, so it allows me that kind of thing. But helping people, there's just so many different things. I love going to my office every day. I love my job.
I had a similar experience where it was like, okay, when I'm 50, am I going to be unloading a truck with the forklift and 80 feet in the air with the screw gun? Am I going to be doing all these physical activities that like are dangerous for a 50-year-old to be doing, quite frankly? Like, this is a
Yeah.
young man's game. And I was like, I need something where I have the longevity. And one thing I always have known about myself is I like the challenge. Like, if it's not uncomfortable, you're not doing something that makes you uncomfortable. It's like, I'm like, well, so what is the next thing that I need to do that? Because I know on the other side of that, that's where the real growth is. And like, for me, I've always wanted to, I used to get teased. It'd be like, I'm here on business. So it's like, we're roadies, or whatever.
Yeah.
We're in New York at a friend's birthday party one time. And I was there with my manager and my buddy. Rest in peace. It was our friend, Justin Hood. He was a legend rapper in marketing, passed away way too young. We're at his apartment and we went to the New York rooftop and we were there to put up signs at a music festival, and was talking to some of the friends, and it was just all, yeah, hi, how's it going? I'm Rob. Oh yeah, I'm here on business. Or I said something like that. And my manager teased me. He's like, hi, I'm Rob. I'm here on business or whatever. And I was like, dude, we are. It's not a personal trip, right? Like, it's not a vacation. But what I'm getting at is like, I've always wanted that ability to focus on more than just one thing. Like, one thing Jeff did that stuck with me, I think, that really helped me make sure that at least I'm controlling what I can in my world, was just the block schedule of his having the teams. He's like, we would go out and market on Mondays. Tuesdays, we would make calls all day. Wednesdays, we would focus on commercial insurance. Thursdays, we would follow up. Fridays, we would go out and do marketing. Wednesdays, at the end of the day, we do walk and talk, right? And I wrote it down and I put it in my calendar. I put it in my block schedule and I stick to it. I teach everybody the same thing. But for me, it breaks up the monotony of like, I'm not going into work every day and doing this one task necessarily. I can talk to somebody about their work comp or mitigating risk or their home insurance or roofing or like whatever it is. There's so many ways to succeed and so many things that I feel like I'm actually bringing my skills to the table of seeing like a visionary CEO thinks about something of where you can see what's going on in the economy and bring that to your business. So I'm not bored. Did you have that same feeling?
Yeah, I think so. And I think like my vision for my business is a lot different than it was even 6 months ago. But I want it to just continue to blow up. And I think I have some things in place that are going to help it get there. I made some moves that made me uncomfortable, and I think that that's going to help. And it's a matter of just trying to figure out like who you are. Like you said it earlier, I know who I am, and I know who I am too. I understand my strengths and weaknesses. I think I'm a good communicator with my team, and I think like I have really good people. So I'm a believer in people, and I'm a developer of people. And so as long as I know I can keep those two things going, I can do some really special stuff. And so I want it to blow up. I want it to be amazing. I'm in complete control of my career, which I love. And it's the same thing with you. You are the CEO, right? And you build your empire as big as you want it to be. And the limits of where that goes aren't limits that farmers or the economy or the marketplace or clients put on you. Those limits belong to you and your own thinking. And so it's just a matter of where do you want it to be? So that's my question for you is where do you want your business to be 5-10 years from now? Where do you see it going?
Well, I told you this story. So the graduating protege, they put you through a 4-week class they did when I did. And you set out to have your exit plan, right? Any good entrepreneur, they say, well, you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan to retire. If you don't have a plan to retire and you don't have a plan to exit, then you should get one, right? I sat down with Luis Hernandez. He's a local business coach called Elite Business Coaching or something. He's fantastic. He's amazing. He says one thing he does with people is he has them write their own epitaph or their eulogy or something. Write their eulogy. He's like, one thing I do with my business coaching is you write, what do you want people to tell others about you once you're dead, when you passed? What do you want people to say about you? There's another story where, who is it? Warren Buffett's brother or something like this. Like, the word got out that he had passed, but he was still alive. Like there was a rumor that he had passed away when he was still alive. And what he read about himself made himself sick. He was like, that's not what I want people to read about me when I'm gone. And so it changed his whole life. Right. Um, so when I did that protege class, they said, you need to decide how big do you want to grow your agency. I said 3.85, I think is what I said. I want to get to $3.85 million.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sat down with my mom, after, I wish my dad would have seen me acquire the agency. My dad passed away like right before I acquired. He passed away 5 months before. But I sat down with my mom and I told her, well, my plan is to grow it to $3.85 million. I don't know. I did math and came up with that number. And the first thing she said was, why not 10 million? And it changed my inner monologue. So I think that it's not as important to me as it was when I started. I want to keep growing.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that we're on track to get to 3.85. I mean, there's things that need to happen. We need to be prime. One, we need to make sure we're on track for AGB. I think if those two things happen, then we can double again. If we can double in the hard market, we can double again relatively quickly. We sat down on my 5-year plan. It's like, I wanted to be a homeowner. Digging into that dirt and planting that tree was like, it's an indescribable feeling, right?
Yeah.
And it felt crazy in October or November. Like, we're really doing this, and it's how much is our mortgage payment? And now it feels like okay, it's home. So I think just staying on pace. I think 10 million is very realistic. I think what I want to do is show these other captive companies what they're up against. I want to show them that, what we're capable of, put New Mexico on the map, especially now that I'm like a landowner in America. I want to show people it felt weird, man. It's like, this is our dirt. Like,
Yeah.
we rented in Hollywood, for 5 years. I don't know. God knows. Christina's in Hollywood for 10 years. When I did the math on how much rent,
Oh man, you guys could have probably bought a home with cash.
ugh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
And it just felt different. But like, I think that this podcast, I think this is a huge celebration. Episode 50, it's the first one where we're going to have the full videos now. So I'm going to start running the full videos. So my objective, honestly, I'm pretty happy with what I've accomplished, but I want people to understand that being a business owner in America is one of the best things possible. We're designed for that. So I think making more agency owners is honestly how I've pivoted. It's like, it started out that, and now it's become just wanting more people to have the ability that we do. I've gotten the watch. I've been ignoring him. Hit me a couple of times. I knew we were coming up on an hour. We're probably at like an hour 10, hour 15.
Oh wow.
So if I do want one more question, don't kill me, Dylan. You said that there was a couple of times where you went through something uncomfortable and you found growth on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Is there one of those that because I talk about them a lot, is there one of those that you're comfortable sharing, maybe other DMs or other agency owners? Get something out of it?
Dude, I switched careers cold turkey. That was probably the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done. I went from doing something I was really good at and I had a degree in and I had studied to do, and I had worked in for 10 years. And then one day I just went home and said, Audrey was there. And I said, I think I'm going to work in insurance and I'm going to give up everything. I'm going to do it cold turkey. But if you know me and you know my style, I jumped in 100%. And so that was probably that was also the one decision that has changed my life for the best. And so I think there's people out there that are listening that there may be something out there for them, or they just don't know what it is. They should explore business ownership. I never once before meeting that farmer's guy thought that it was for me. And it grew me into a completely different person. It has changed me, and I think for the best. And I think that's both personal and business side. But that was probably the one decision that has changed my life
That's
more than
amazing.
anything.
Yeah. I mean, you really can have fun selling insurance, right?
Yeah.
It's a fun career. It's exciting. Is it hard? Yeah, maybe it's not for everybody, but if you're out there and you're listening and you have been wondering like, hey, is there something bigger? Is there something for me out there? Can I make an impact? You don't have a degree. You don't have to have a degree.
Nope.
Get in touch with the Rio Grande district. Get in touch with District 25, Jason Cassidy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Let's
boy.
do it. Let's change your life.
Man, I really am so grateful, man, for this time. We'll wrap it up. Got a few things that we got to take care of housekeeping wise. So I'll make sure I get that done for you. And if there's anything else you want to leave the listeners with, this is.
No, thanks
Well,
for
we're gonna
having me.
wrap.
Congratulations on 50. This is a big deal. You're an amazing agent. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Nice
I
hat.
appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, listeners. Shout out Player One Productions. When was the last time you had a free insurance review? We want to make sure you get the most bang for your buck. Make sure that we protect your insurability so you're not overinsured, you're not underinsured. We offer home, auto, life, commercial, and specialty lines. Also flood insurance. Pretty much everything except for individual health care at the moment. So we're looking to meet people in the real estate industry, people doing commercial real estate, habitational. That's our sweet spot. Also, we're helping restaurant owners and artisan contractors. We're also looking for someone like you. Are you married? Do you have 2 cars? Did your mortgage payment go up recently because your home insurance increased? When was the last time you heard from your insurance company or made sure that you weren't under or overinsured? Do you actually understand what's on your policy? Give us a call. We'll go over with you patiently, and we're fast to get you the most bang for your buck. 505-771-3035. Call or come by. We're located in Enchanted Hills, Rio Rancho at 4351 Jagger Drive in Suite C. It's the Hoffman Agency. Again, that phone number is 505-771-3035.